Aha! Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, a 2019 horror directed by Andre Overdahl, who did 2010's Troll Hunter and 2016's Autopsy of Jane Doe, which I recommend, an adaptation of the children's horror book series by Alvin Schwartz. Back in the day, it was 3 collections from 1981, 84 and 1991, with 82 short stories in total. In 2013, CBS Films acquired the rights to make a film about it, and it's felt 6 years later. Ding dang doodly, let's do it! Written by Dan and Kevin Hageman, and its producer and main name attached, Guillermo del Toro.
Stories heal. Stories hurt. If we repeat them often enough, they become real.
It's a 1 hour 45 minute horror anthology as Stella, Zoe Coletti, takes a book written by a ghost who writes the deaths of the kids who are in her house in real time. So that's the framework for various bogeymen, picking the kids off.
Art, I don't want to alarm you, but there may be a boogeyman or boogeymen in the house!
Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark is set in 1968. I know because they show Nixon winning the presidential election. 60s America means lots of doo-wop, old-timey TVs, 60s, early 70s clothes, and a jock douchebag character. Aren't you way too skinny to play football? Lots of garish, bright pastel colours about, which give it a children's story feeling.
Spider-Man should have 8 arms, not 4.
Hey, at least I'm not a clown.
For the last time, I'm a Pierrot.
So this is about a group of kids having a crazy adventure. That's very 80s, and it's very in at the moment. Stella has a huge bang of Stranger Things lad about her. There's nothing denoting her as female besides having a male love interest, and you could absolutely transplant Finn Wolfhard in there. Comic relief is Austin Zajur, who has a few funny lines. Like his Halloween costume was supposed to be Spider-Man, but he is the man spider. Straight out of Frank from Always Sunny. I loved it.
Don't say I went as Spider-Man. I didn't go as Spider-Man. I was Man Spider. Totally different.
I said Spider-Man, not Spider-Man.
Also, his sister closes the door in his face and he's like, "My banana! It's good!" Anyone else you'd recognise? Hank, Dean Norris, has a bit part as the dad. Billy from Ally McBeal is the leaning racist small-town police chief.
Look, I think it'd be a good idea if you stuck around for a few days. Comprende?
Just small note, don't get the Amazon version. It's cropped to widescreen aspect ratio as opposed to the Google Play version, which has the ultra widescreen theatrical version, so you see more on the left and right of the screen. Okay, just a couple of fun bits that caught my attention during the film. I'm responsible for everything bad in my life. My mom leaving, Augie missing. Wait, that's just 2 things. There's a running credo of stories, say them enough and they'll become true. So, Hogan's a cunt. Hogan's a cunt. Oh my god, Hogan is a cunt! Of course, this rings true for the main heel antagonist Sarah, labelled a monster until she became a monster. They go to an old black lady's house because she used to live in that house. Would you teach her black magic? Popped. Kayfabe upheld. Why don't they go to the police? They won't believe us, racist police chief, and they'll be dead before they can do something. So this all kicked off when Sarah took the scary book by Sarah Bellows. Why not return the book? It teleports back to your gaff. Why not burn the book? It's unscathed by fire. Dang, they'll have to run around town uncovering the real story and confront their fears and Sarah herself.
Your story. The real story. I'll tell the truth.
Okay, so here are the baddies of the film and the stories that inspired them. Harold the Scarecrow, which was picked on by Jock Douchebag, who hated it ever since he was a child. It's like, yeah man, it looks like the stuff of nightmares. The sack face is very Leatherface. Thumbs up. I also enjoyed the Scarecrow in Annabelle Creation. Looked great.
Morning, hon. Wakey, wakey. Rise and shine.
Meatai Doty Walker, the jangly man who can disassemble and reassemble body parts. It's like Never Dead, sadly no Megadeth. Complete CG, which was a bit dodgy, and they pin him to a truck, so success. But no, not for me. The Big Toe. Kid eats a casserole and there's a toe in it, and the ghoul wants it back. It was gross seeing the kid eat a dead toe, so thumbs up. The Red Spot. Ruth has a big pimple. Actually, it's a spider bite. Actually, it's swelling bigger and bigger, and the most gross thing happens. It explodes full of spiders. That was the best one. Turn on Fiend Vision, the Pale Lady, a grotesque fat smiley female who wants a hug. Not scary, but I popped being reminded of Bray Wyatt. Then a final jaunt back to the house where it all started, armed with knowledge which is very much a staple of horror films. You know, kind of go back to where you started, but you're a different person because you're at the end of your journey now, that kind of thing. Question: there's a dilapidated, modern, and pristine old-timey version of the same house. How do you think they did that? Film the opulent scenes first, then wreck the gaff and film that? Or do you think they had two sets? The haunted house setting and writing in a book is the most natural way to frame a movie based on short stories, so thumbs up. Overall, I'm not sure who the audience for this is. It's a dark kids film. It's like way too scary for children, but a bit too cutesy for adults. Like the fat lady with a smile who wants to hug you to death. Did someone write a horror story after visiting grandma, you know? So maybe perfect for 12 to 15 year olds. It's well made, nicely polished, but nothing you'd miss out on if skipsies.
We're going to just deal at the moment with the actual director, Mr. David Marmer. Could you actually give me a welcome, please?
Hi, thank you all for being here on a rainy afternoon. We're really thrilled to be part of Horrorthon and feel so welcomed by the IFI and the whole city of Dublin. I don't want to say too much about the movie before you've seen it, so all I'll say is hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks.
One BR, the apartment block cult. Nicole Bryden Bloom, Chloe on Law and Order SVU. She plays Sarah, a bright and hopeful literal girl next door who's moved to LA to start life anew and gets an apartment in a very lovely community.
Oh, they put that system in a few years ago after a break-in.
Don't worry. Neighborhood's a lot safer now.
Director David Marmer introduced beforehand and did a Q&A afterwards. So this is a film about a cult in an apartment block. The horrors of renting an apartment in LA. Haha. So how much of this was based on personal experience? Yeah. Anyway, David, the director, moved there years ago. And yes, people tend to move there alone, start a new life, and consequently feel isolated and lonely, no sense of community. So I could see how cults could absolutely prey on that. So there's a longing there. Why not make a horror film about it? So a cult movie set in an apartment block. Sarah hasn't gotten her shit together, so she's a bit lost, working a temp job in a cubicle. Easy prey, make a few mean phone calls to the right people, and no one will miss her if she disappears. Did you know you can really save on costs if you set a film in an unfurnished apartment? Should have got in with CM Punk's movie and filmed there before he wrecked the gaff. The film is Sarah getting broken by the cult, getting deeper and brainwashed, eventually joining it willingly and becoming a member. But that's all disrupted when her old temp job mate is the newest recruit. What will happen?
It's your fucking life.
At the Q&A afterwards, the love interest, Giles Matthey, is a funny guy. He describes his character as a red herring, but the opposite to that, a black cod. Anyway, there's similar plot threads to Holy Hell and Rosemary's Baby, you know, the cult kind of thing. It was a 15-day shoot over December 2017, and it was noted the invitation had a similar finish. The director and the producer are actually mates and said, is the finish to this film too similar to yours? And he said, nah, it's fine. There was a bit of scandal that he wouldn't name the actress and her boyfriend who were initially supposed to be in the film. They pulled out the Monday, but they were shooting on the Thursday, and the original Mrs. Old Woman, her husband died, so they had to ring around and pitch the film. And they had 1 day to rehearse before filming with the main actress. Instead of filming Thursday, we're now filming Monday, and here we go, off to the races. So I was impressed about how well it all came together, because that sounded like a nightmare shoot. So good times. Can't recommend, as it's a bit sparse on character and on-set dressings, but it's an interesting premise with a bit of social commentary, so I'm happy to have seen it. Though. You wouldn't be missing out if you skipped it.
Damn it. Fucking IKEA.
Parhno, 5 for 50. Yes, Porno 2019, the worst name for search engines. Literally, who's going to Google the trailer to find it? Even if you type in Keola Rosella, the director. What's the vig? Staff at a small cinema watch a deathly film and it starts snuffing them out. It's a comedy-ish horror, as in it's supposed to be comedy, but it's like Simpsons season 30 level comedy. I don't know, the trailer looked a lot cheaper than the final film. I thought it was nicely colour graded. It looked pretty good. Watching this, you can save a lot of money if you film in a local theatre at night. Noticeable lack of budget, like your sacrificial altar is chalk on the ground and 6 black candles. I enjoy the premise of unleashing a succubus into a cinema, a sexual siren who tempts people with their vices, like another guy, a peeping Tom, smoking, or you're gay, and bites them. What it lacks in budget, it makes up for in penis shots. Jesus! There is testicular mutilation in it. Like, they go back to it a couple of times. Maybe they're going for equality. You know, Pretty Bird gets her tits out and she's wearing the biggest merkin you've ever seen. It's like she's smuggling coffee between her legs. Coffee is V1's dog. Actors don't seem naturally friendly or chummy to each other. Like, it could have been a lot funnier if, you know, they had better chemistry. It was okay. But there are some fun lines in the film. There's a prayer before starting work. Her makeup cannot cover her love for the Lord. It's good.
And let her know that no amount of makeup can conceal her love of Christ.
What the hell's going on? Nobody tells Todd anything.
This guy cut his penis off. I don't know why. Nobody tells Todd anything.
You've seen his pictures, Todd.
Ah! Stop cutting me. And CBTL, man. Christ bears the load. Big bang of we don't have the budget finish. Let's smash the door and get out. Cut to someone throwing glass on the floor and then walking out. Bollocks, there's no way you could afford to break a door and have it refitted. That's a couple of hundred at least.
Oh my.
Hey, what the frick?
listen, I don't want to shit on the film too hard because it must be very difficult to make a movie in general. But it's the type of film that's the last movie of the night shown at a horror film festival. That's the kind of quality you're getting. It's a good plot and setting, and it could use... And if you had a new cast and, you know, punch up the scripts and make it a bit more heartwarming and funny, man, you could really have something here. But, yeah.
I'm in.
No way. I'm not putting this junk in my projector.
Come on, man, don't be such a narc. Shut it, Perm!
Parhno, 5 for 50. And that does it for our Halloween Spooktacular. Hope you enjoyed the last couple of days hearing all about different types of horror. Been a ton of fun hot dogging about all of these. Horror is my favourite film genre. If you want to hear me talk about different films for next year's Halloween, pitch it to me in the comments below. Tomorrow's Sunday stream is Super OSW Level 7. Listen to incredible video game music with me, your boy, Jay Hunter, for 2 hours. It's going to be amazeballs. See you tomorrow for that one. Or, right now, if you're from the future, save some of that moon money for me. Defo give me a shout if you watched any of these spooky suggestions. It's Halloween, so grab some garbage candy and scare the shit out of some loved ones. So for myself and V1, not OC, he just gruffly sneers at you from across the room. Shamhna, ghuit. Happy Halloween, and remember, a winner is you. Man, scary stories to tell in the dark, man. Enjoyed all of the different boogeymen they showed off. Ooh, Dankmas, play us out.